rubber meets the road, these kids are killers. They're capable of killing. This juvenile citation that you hear from these faith groups, they need to worry about what's going on at their pulpit and their church, not worry about what's going on in the streets where you have 14-year-olds and 12-year-olds arming themselves. And where do you learn to use this weaponry? At 12, I didn't know how to fire an AK-47 or unload it and reload it or use a pump shotgun, but they know how to do it now. I don't know what to say. Where have we gone wrong that 12-year-old and 14-year-old think it's okay to take on law enforcement? What the hell is the Department of Juvenile Justice doing, sending these kids to places that can't handle them?
That's a very angry sheriff down in Volusia County, Florida. A 14-year-old, 12-year-old firing at deputies. They ended up shooting the 14-year-old girl who had the shotgun. She's in critical condition. The 12-year-old who had the AK-47, who was firing that at deputies, ended up dropping it. They took him into custody. Posted all of this on social media, on my Facebook page. 13th juror comment of the day tonight comes from Dawn, who says, it all starts at home. If they have no guidance from parents, they're going to do what the heck they want, become criminals. Renee Hill, how is it that a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old thinks it's okay to shoot at law enforcement?
It's really just beyond thought here. 12 and 14 arming themselves with these high-velocity weapons and firing at law enforcement. I mean, it's just, you're beyond words. You just don't understand. You can't fathom how they could think that it's okay. They don't have value for life. A lot, not just young people, but people in general these days don't have value for human life. And they take these actions that are just unexplainable.
Terry, tonight, the shooting situation has to be taken more seriously. What these kids need is a little jail time. Scare the wits out of them. Randy Kessler, you know, this is the situation we deal with all the time. This 14-year-old apparently had been put in another group home about a month before this and burned it down. Moved her to another group home. She absconds, breaks into that home, destroys everything inside with a baseball bat, and then when deputies arrive, starts shooting at them. So what is our system going to do with 14-year-olds and 12-year-olds?
Yeah, now it's not the time to scare their wits out of them. Now it's time to punish them and treat them like adults and put them in jail for a long, long time. They've already had their wits scared out of them. One of them's lying in the hospital, and the other one saw his friend get shot and lie in the hospital. That should have happened. A scare should have happened before it got to this. They should have been dragged into the jailhouse, seen what happens, let criminals talk to them. They do need to be scared. We need to do something. But now it's treat them like an adult. It's too late. I don't want to scare them straight. They don't need to be straight. They need to be put away where they're not going to hurt anybody. This is unacceptable.
Christopher, tonight.
They also need counseling. They need counseling too. You can't just put them away and throw them in jail and throw away the key. They need counseling. They need mental health services. They need to be spoken to. They need to be evaluated to find out how did they get to this point in the first place. It's not just about putting them in jail and throwing away the key, especially at this young age.
I would.
Christopher, tonight, how about what was so bad at the foster home they ran from that they'd rather shoot it out with cops than go back to it? It wasn't a traditional foster home. It was a home where they're putting juveniles that had gotten into some trouble. But Carmen, your thoughts? I mean, the sheriff is upset. He says, you know what? This is very predictable, and it gets very dangerous for the community because they're put in these homes where the people that are running them can't handle this level of dangerous child. And he's concerned.
Well, he should be. I mean, the 14-year-old should have been in juvenile detention in a lockdown facility. And that, I think, was the biggest, which was a lockdown facility. But, this video is hard to watch. But the worst thing to me, the chilling thing, is listening to the statements these kids made after the fact, referring to Grand Theft Auto and things like that, and saying that they were trying to shoot these officers. And I hope the people that are watching at home recognize that, how a bullet feels in a game is very different than what you hear when you hear that 14-year-old screaming in pain when she got shot.
Linda, tonight, I certainly do not have an answer, but it is shocking. I would be looking at the home environment first. I would be looking very closely at the so-called group home where they're living. It was a Methodist church-related home. Why are they running away? It could be relevant. And in that same home, the sheriff also disclosed that one of the employees there had been murdered by one of the children that was in the home less than a year ago. And, you know, nothing really happened. Unbelievable. All right, great job tonight. Renee Hill, Randy Kessler, Carmen Rowe. Always great to have you in the program. Please come back soon. We appreciate your expertise and insight into all the legal issues of the day.